Racist cop humiliates black woman unaware her private task force has been hunting his unit for months. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It's quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the busy street as Officer Andrew Michaels stood near the curb, arms crossed, scanning the pedestrians with a dismissive gaze. His sharp eyes settled on a woman walking towards him, Tasha Williams, a poised black woman with a calm demeanor. She moved with purpose, but the way the officer sized her up told a different story. She didn't belong in his world. As she approached, Officer Michaels stepped into her path. "Excuse me, miss," he said, his voice dripping with authority. "I need to see your ID." Now, Tasha paused for a moment, her expression unwavering. "What?" she asked, keeping her tone measured. Michaels sneered, the kind of look that seemed to say he had seen enough people like her. "You look like trouble," he muttered, his words barely audible. Tasha stood still, her body language calm, but beneath the surface, her mind was racing. She had been through worse. Much worse. "I haven't done anything wrong," she said, her voice steady. "I'm just trying to get to work." But Michaels wasn't listening. He stepped closer, raising his hand in a dismissive gesture. "Save your excuses for someone who cares. I'm not buying it." The tension was thick, the weight of his words hanging in the air. Around them, pedestrians stopped, watching the scene unfold. Some whispered, others exchanged uncomfortable glances. But Tasha didn't flinch. She had been through worse, and she knew exactly how to handle this. She kept her hands at her sides, her gaze unwavering. Officer Michaels' hand shot out to grab her arm, and that's when the tension in the air seemed to snap. Tasha didn't move, didn't resist, but inside, she was already calculating. This was no ordinary encounter. It was the beginning of something much bigger. For months, she and her team had been watching Michaels and his colleagues, collecting evidence, piecing together a web of corruption and abuse. They knew everything about him, his moves, his tactics, his prejudices, and they had been waiting for the right moment to strike. Michaels, oblivious to the weight of the situation, continued to push, his grip tightening on her arm. "You're coming with me," he barked. But Tasha remained calm. Her body language said it all. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't just any woman on the street. She wasn't a victim. She was the one in control. As he led her toward the squad car, Tasha's mind was already racing through the events that had brought her here. The months of undercover work, the carefully laid plans, the intel her team had gathered. They had been tracking his unit, piece by piece, slowly building a case that would bring them all down. But Michaels had no idea. He thought he was dealing with just another black woman he could push around. He was wrong. He had no idea who she really was. And soon, he would find out the hard way. I'm sure you're wondering how this confrontation will unfold. Officer Michaels, still unaware of the storm that's about to hit him, continues to lead Tasha towards the squad car, his grip tightening, his smug expression never wavering. But what he doesn't know is that Tasha isn't just any woman. As they walk, the streets around them seem to blur into the background, the hum of the city fading into the distance. Tasha's mind is sharp, calculating every move, every word, every gesture. She has been waiting for this moment for months. The officer's behavior, his arrogance, his discrimination, has been under investigation for so long that Tasha's team already knows everything about him. His record, his colleagues, his actions. Every detail has been meticulously documented. Tasha, however, remains calm. Her exterior is composed, but inside, she's ready. Ready to take this moment and turn it into something that will shake the foundation of the city. The squad car door opens with a creak as Officer Michaels pushes Tasha toward the back seat, not realizing that every step he takes is leading him closer to his own downfall. As he closes the door behind her, he smirks, clearly thinking that he's won. He doesn't know that this is just the beginning. Sitting in the back, of the car, Tasha lets her thoughts settle. She can almost feel the tension rising inside her, but she doesn't let it show. She has been trained for moments like this, and now she has the upper hand. She reaches into her pocket, fingers brushing against the thin metal of her phone. A small but significant gesture. Her team is already on alert, waiting for the signal. They have been watching Officer Michaels and his colleagues for months, collecting evidence of their corrupt practices. They've gathered intel, witnessed abuse of power, and now they are ready to make their move. Tasha closes her eyes for a moment, just long enough to center herself. This moment isn't just about her. It's about the countless others who have faced discrimination at the hands of people in power. It's about justice. It's about righting a wrong. And now, she's the one in control. The car begins to move, and as it turns the corner, Tasha's thoughts flash back to the countless hours she spent undercover, the nights spent poring over files, the phone calls, the surveillance. Every piece of the puzzle is now falling into place. Officer Michaels has no idea who he's dealing with. When the car pulls up to the precinct, Tasha feels the weight of the situation settle over her. She's been here before, but this time it's different. She steps out of the car with the same calm, measured pace, but inside, her heart is racing. Officer Michaels is walking right into a trap, and she's the one who set it. As they enter the building, Tasha scans the room, taking in every detail. The faces of the officers, the sterile walls, the low hum of conversation in the background. It all feels so familiar. But there's a different energy in the air today. She can feel it. The officers don't know it yet, but their days are numbered. Tasha stands tall, her back straight, her eyes steady. She's no longer just a woman being humiliated by a racist cop. She's the woman who's about to bring down a corrupt system. Tasha glances at Officer Michaels, who's still oblivious to her true identity. He thinks he's won, but he hasn't even begun to understand the magnitude of what's about to happen. The wheels of justice are already turning, and it's only a matter of time before they catch up with him. I'm sure you can feel the shift in the air. Tasha steps into the precinct, her eyes scanning every officer in sight, taking in every detail of the environment. The room feels colder than usual, the sterile walls reflecting the tension that's mounting. The sound of murmurs fades as the door closes behind her. Officer Michaels is still behind her, walking with the same cocky attitude, completely unaware of the gravity of the situation. Tasha doesn't move. She stands still, her posture confident and calm, yet there's a fire burning inside her. She's been waiting for this moment for far too long, and now that it's finally here, she can feel the weight of it all. Every piece of evidence, every observation, every late night spent watching Officer Michaels and his team, it all leads to this. The officers around her are oblivious to the storm brewing, to the fact that their actions have been under investigation for months. Officer Michaels is no exception. He still thinks he's in control, that he can push Tasha around like he's done with so many others. But he doesn't know that the tables are about to turn. As Michaels approaches the front desk, Tasha notices a few familiar faces. She's worked with some of these officers before, but they don't recognize her. Not yet. She remains silent, her eyes steady as she watches Michaels walk up to the officer at the front. Tasha's thoughts drift back to the countless hours spent gathering intel, reviewing evidence, and waiting for the right moment to strike. And now, the moment is here. She reaches into her pocket, feeling the cool edge of her phone. She presses a button, sending a signal to her team, and within moments, she knows they're ready. Michaels is speaking to the front desk officer, still unaware that he's being watched from every angle. Tasha lets out a slow breath. This is it. As the officers around her go about their work, Tasha remains still, her mind focused. She can feel the adrenaline starting to build. She has played this game carefully, watched from the shadows, but now it's time to take control. Michaels finishes his conversation at the front desk and starts to walk towards the hallway. His footsteps echo in the quiet space, but Tasha's eyes are locked on him, unwavering. She knows the truth now. He's just another cog in the machine, a man who thought he could get away with his actions. But what he doesn't know is that he's about to be exposed. With a small, almost imperceptible smile, Tasha walks toward the hallway where Michaels is heading. He hasn't noticed yet, but she's moving into position. The precinct is bustling, but to Tasha, everything slows down. Every officer, every movement, every glance is calculated. As she moves closer, she feels the weight of what's to come. She's not just any woman. She's the one who's been silently working behind the scenes, the one who's been watching, gathering, and now it's time to act. She takes a deep breath and steps into the hallway, where Officer Michaels is just a few feet away. He glances over his shoulder, but it's too late. Tasha takes one final step, and with a calm yet unwavering voice, she speaks. "I think it's time you knew who I really am." The words hang in the air, and for the first time since they met, Officer Michaels freezes. He turns to look at her, confusion and disbelief written all over his face. Tasha's smile remains, but now there's a quiet strength behind it. The power is shifting, and it's her turn to lead the way. I'm sure you can feel the tension building as Michael stares at Tasha, completely caught off guard. His mind races, trying to make sense of what's happening. The words Tasha spoke still hang in the air, echoing in the silence between them. "I think it's time you knew who I really am." He blinks, his confusion deepening, unable to comprehend how this calm woman, the one he had so easily dismissed, could be someone important. Tasha's eyes never waver, her expression still composed, but now there's a flicker of determination behind them. Michaels opens his mouth to speak, but no words come out. He's not sure whether he should be angry, scared, or confused. Tasha watches him carefully, waiting for his reaction. She doesn't need to say more. The power has already shifted. Michaels takes a step back, looking over his shoulder as if searching for someone to help him make sense of the situation, but no one comes to his aid. The other officers in the room are too busy with their own tasks, unaware of the quiet storm that's unfolding right in front of them. The clock seems to slow down as Tasha takes another step forward. She's not just standing up for herself. This is bigger than that. She is standing up for every person who has been wronged by people like Michaels. "I've been watching you, Officer Michaels," she continues, her voice steady but unwavering. "And everything you've done, everything you thought was hidden, is about to be exposed." Michael's face pales, his heart racing as he begins to realize the gravity of the situation. His thoughts race, but nothing seems to make sense. How could this woman he'd treated with such disdain, be the one who has been investigating him? The realization hits him like a ton of bricks, and for the first time, he feels small. His bravado crumbles, replaced with a growing sense of panic. Tasha takes a deep breath, letting the moment settle. She knows Michaels isn't the only one who's about to face the consequences of his actions. But for now, he's the one in front of her, the one who will feel the sting of justice first. "You thought you could get away with it," she says, her voice softer now, but laced with undeniable authority. "But you were wrong." Michael's mouth opens and closes, but no words come out. He's been caught, and he knows it. The weight of the situation bears down on him, and for the first time, he starts to realize that his actions have consequences. Tasha looks around the room, her eyes briefly meeting those of the officers who are still oblivious to what's happening. This is her moment, and she's not going to let it slip away. She turns back to Michaels, who is still struggling to find his voice. "I'm not just a woman you can push around," Tasha says, her voice firm. "I'm the one who's been tracking your every move, gathering evidence of your corruption, and now it's time for the truth to come out." Michael's face flushes, but he can't speak. His pride, once so unshakable, has been shattered. His thoughts race, but the reality of the situation is settling in. He's not the one in control anymore. Tasha is. As she stands there, facing him with quiet authority, Michaels begins to understand that this moment, this encounter, is the beginning of the end for him. The weight of Tasha's words hangs in the air, and all he can do is stand there, trapped in the reality of what he's done. His arrogance, his racist behavior, the way he treated her, it's all coming back to haunt him. And there's no escape. Tasha doesn't need to say another word. The truth is already out, and Officer Michaels knows it. I can see the change in Officer Michaels' face as the realization sets in. His confident posture falters, his shoulders sagging as his world begins to unravel. His mind races, trying to find a way out, but Tasha's words have already trapped him. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words are stuck in his throat. His hands tremble ever so slightly, the sense of control he once had slipping through his fingers. He is no longer the one in charge, no longer the one holding all the cards. Tasha remains steady, her eyes never leaving his. She can feel the shift in the air, the sense that this moment is pivotal. The officers in the room are still going about their business, unaware of the change that has just taken place. They continue to shuffle papers, type on their computers, and talk amongst themselves, but none of them notice the dramatic turn that is unfolding right in front of them. Tasha knows this moment is bigger than just bringing down one racist cop. This is about exposing a system that has allowed men like Michaels to flourish, unchecked and unchallenged. And now it's all coming to light. Michaels tries again, his voice cracking. "WH, what do you want from me?" The words come out in a jumble, but Tasha is unfazed. She stands tall, unwavering. "What I want, Officer Michaels, is for the truth to come out," she says, her tone calm, but laced with undeniable strength. "I want everyone to know what you've been doing, how you've been using your badge to terrorize people like me, people like the ones you thought you could just ignore." Michael's face flushes with embarrassment, his eyes darting around the room, but no help is coming. He's completely alone in this. Tasha's team is ready, and everything they've been working towards is finally coming to fruition. She knows that it's not just about Michaels. There are others involved, others who have abused their power and walked away without consequences. But today that changes. She takes a deep breath, standing in the center of the precinct, feeling the weight of the moment settle on her shoulders. The room is filled with the quiet hum of machines and the distant murmur of conversation, but all of that fades into the background. For Tasha, it's as if the entire world has paused, and she's the only one who truly understands what's at stake. Officer Michaels is still struggling to comprehend what's happening. He takes another step back, his mind a blur of confusion and fear. He knows that this is it, that everything he thought he could get away with is now coming to light. He tries to regain his composure, but Tasha's calm presence only intensifies the feeling of dread that's sinking in. Tasha doesn't need to raise her voice or make a scene. Her quiet confidence speaks volumes. "You're not in control here, Officer Michaels," she continues, her voice steady and clear. "You never were. This is my show now." Michaels swallows hard, the words cutting deeper than he would ever admit. He tries to keep up the facade, but it's becoming increasingly difficult. His smugness is gone, replaced by a deep, sinking fear. Tasha remains unmoved, watching him closely. She knows that this moment is one he'll never forget. And it's not just because of the consequences he'll face. It's because for the first time he has no power, no control, and no way to escape the truth that's closing in on him. "This ends now," Tasha says softly, her gaze unwavering. Michaels opens his mouth to respond, but the words die in his throat. He knows there's nothing left to say. The truth is out, and now he has to face the consequences. I can feel the shift in the room as Officer Michaels stands there, unable to find his voice. Tasha, calm and composed, holds the power in the silence. The officers around them remain oblivious, but Tasha knows this is the moment everything changes. The weight of the situation is on her shoulders, but she's ready. She's been ready for months. Officer Michaels, still standing in front of her, looks as though he's lost, searching for a way to salvage what's left of his dignity, but it's gone. There's no saving him now. "You think this is over?" Michaels finally manages to say, his voice shaking, but it's clear that the bravado he once had is completely gone. Tasha shakes her head slightly, her expression unwavering. "It's not over, Officer Michaels." "It never was," she responds, her voice steady. The air feels thick with tension as she lets the truth hang in the space between them. She watches his face, the way his expression shifts from confusion to disbelief to something more desperate. He can no longer ignore what's happening. "You've been under investigation for months. Your actions have consequences," she continues, each word deliberate and measured. And now, those consequences are about to unfold in front of you. Michaels tries to speak again, but his words are cut short. His mind is spinning, but Tasha doesn't give him a chance to regain his composure. I know what you've been doing, and I know who you are, Tasha says, her eyes locking onto his. You may have thought you were untouchable, but today, everything changes. There's a long pause as Michael stares at her, his lips pressed together in a tight line. Tasha stands tall, a sense of quiet authority surrounding her. She's not angry. She's not upset. She's simply stating the truth. This isn't just about you, Michaels. It's about everything you represent, she adds. The system you've been part of, the corruption you've turned a blind eye to, the people you've hurt. It's all coming to light. Michaels swallows hard, his throat dry. His face is a mask of frustration, anger, and fear. He knows that Tasha's words are more than just accusations. They're a reality he can no longer escape. He opens his mouth again, trying to come up with some excuse, but Tasha interrupts him with a single, sharp glance. You don't have to say anything, she says. The evidence speaks for itself. Your actions have been documented, and now, the truth will be revealed. For the first time, Michaels seems to understand the magnitude of the situation. His mind is racing, but the truth is inescapable. Tasha has the upper hand, and there's nothing he can do to stop it. The room feels even quieter now, as if time itself is standing still, waiting for what comes next. Tasha knows her next move. She's been planning this for months, and it's all falling into place. You will be held accountable, Tasha says softly, but her words are laced with conviction. And this is only the beginning. Michaels looks around the room again, this time fully aware of how alone he is. His colleagues, who once saw him as untouchable, are nowhere to be found. They've been blind to the truth, but now it's too late for them as well. Tasha knows that this moment, this confrontation, will not only bring justice for her, but for all the others who have been wronged by people like Michaels. The system is broken, but now it's time to rebuild. The truth has been exposed, and there's no turning back. As Tasha stands there, a quiet strength in her eyes, she knows that this is just the beginning of a much larger change. I can feel the weight of the moment settling on Officer Michaels as the truth presses down on him. His face is pale, his expression a mixture of disbelief and desperation. He's still standing, but he feels as though his legs might give way beneath him. The walls of the precinct, once familiar, now seem to close in on him. Everything he once held as certain has been shattered. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words are lost, tangled in his throat. He's aware now, completely aware, that this isn't just a small setback. This is the end of his career, his power, and the facade of invincibility he's built over the years. Tasha watches him with quiet intensity, her expression calm but resolute. She's already won, and yet she knows that this is just the beginning. She doesn't need to say much more. She's not here for revenge. She's here for justice. You can't hide from this anymore, Tasha says, her voice steady and firm. The truth is out, and now you have to face it. Michaels tries to regain some semblance of composure. He clears his throat, his hands shaking ever so slightly. I don't know what you think you're doing, he mutters, but the defiance in his voice is hollow. This is just a misunderstanding. You have no proof. Tasha doesn't flinch. She's heard it all before. You've been under investigation for months, she says, her voice calm but powerful. Every step you've taken, every action you've made, has been documented. She pauses, letting the weight of her words sink in. Your colleagues, your superiors, they all knew what you were doing. But you got comfortable. You thought you could keep getting away with it. Well, it ends now. Michael's face flushes with a mixture of anger and embarrassment, but he doesn't speak again. He knows she's right. There's no escape, no more lies he can tell. He's trapped. Tasha takes a step closer to him, her eyes never leaving his. This isn't just about you. It's about everyone you've hurt, everyone you've wronged, all the people who never had a chance to stand up to you, she continues. Today, that changes. For the first time, Michaels looks down, his shoulders slumping. The cocky officer he once was is nowhere to be found. Tasha stands tall before him, unwavering. Her confidence is a silent force, one that radiates strength and determination. She doesn't need to shout to make a scene. Her presence alone is enough to dismantle Michael's arrogance piece by piece. "You can't hide behind your badge anymore," Tasha says, her voice soft but firm. "This is bigger than you. This is about accountability, about making sure people like you are held responsible for what you've done." She steps back slightly, her gaze still fixed on him. "And now, the world will see you for what you truly are." Michael stands there, defeated. He knows that nothing he says will change the outcome. Tasha's words have already struck the final blow. The evidence is too strong, the case too solid. There's no way out. For the first time, he realizes just how powerless he is. Tasha turns away from him, but not before giving him one last, lingering look. The weight of what has just transpired is almost palpable. Michael's world, once so secure, is crumbling before him, and there's nothing he can do to stop it. As Tasha walks away, she feels the quiet satisfaction of knowing that justice is finally within reach. This fight wasn't just for her. It was for everyone who had been silenced, for everyone who had suffered under the weight of the system. And today, they had won. The truth had finally come to light. I can feel the weight of the moment settling on Officer Michaels as the truth presses down on him. His face is pale, his expression a mixture of disbelief and desperation. He's still standing, but he feels as though his legs might give way beneath him. The walls of the precinct, once familiar, now seem to close in on him. Everything he once held as certain has been shattered. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words are lost, tangled in his throat. He's aware now, completely aware, that this isn't just a small setback. This is the end of his career, his power, and the facade of invincibility he's built over the years. Tasha watches him with quiet intensity, her expression calm but resolute. She's already won, and yet she knows that this is just the beginning. She doesn't need to say much more. She's not here for revenge. She's here for justice. "You can't hide from this anymore," Tasha says, her voice steady and firm. "The truth is out, and now you have to face it." Michaels tries to regain some semblance of composure. He clears his throat, his hands shaking ever so slightly. "I don't know what you think you're doing," he mutters, but the defiance in his voice is hollow. "This is just a misunderstanding. You have no proof." Tasha doesn't flinch. She's heard it all before. "You've been under investigation for months," she says, her voice calm but powerful. "Every step you've taken, every action you've made, has been documented." She pauses, letting the weight of her words sink in. "Your colleagues, your superiors, they all knew what you were doing. But you got comfortable. You thought you could keep getting away with it. Well, it ends now." Michael's face flushes with a mixture of anger and embarrassment, but he doesn't speak again. He knows she's right. There's no escape, no more lies he can tell. He's trapped. Tasha takes a step closer to him, her eyes never leaving his. "This isn't just about you. It's about everyone you've hurt, everyone you've wronged, all the people who never had a chance to stand up to you," she continues. Today, that changes. For the first time, Michaels looks down, his shoulders slumping. The cocky officer he once was is nowhere to be found. Tasha stands tall before him, unwavering. Her confidence is a silent force, one that radiates strength and determination. She doesn't need to shout to make a scene. Her presence alone is enough to dismantle Michael's arrogance piece by piece. "You can't hide behind your badge anymore," Tasha says, her voice soft but firm. "This is bigger than you. This is about accountability, about making sure people like you are held responsible for what you've done." She steps back slightly, her gaze still fixed on him. "And now, the world will see you for what you truly are." Michael stands there, defeated. He knows that nothing he says will change the outcome. Tasha's words have already struck the final blow. The evidence is too strong, the case too solid. There's no way out. For the first time, he realizes just how powerless he is. Tasha turns away from him, but not before giving him one last, lingering look. The weight of what has just transpired is almost palpable. Michael's world, once so secure, is crumbling before him, and there's nothing he can do to stop it. As Tasha walks away, she feels the quiet satisfaction of knowing that justice is finally within reach. This fight wasn't just for her. It was for everyone who had been silenced, for everyone who had suffered under the weight of the system. And today, they had won. The truth had finally come to light. I can feel the weight of the silence as Tasha walks away from Officer Michaels. The precinct around her is still bustling, the noise of papers shuffling, keys clicking, and phones ringing, but in that moment, it all feels distant, as though the world outside of this small space has stopped turning. Tasha doesn't look back. She doesn't need to. She's already won. The truth has been exposed, and there's no way to erase it. As she walks through the hallways, she feels the eyes of the officers on her, though they're too afraid to speak. They know what she's done. They know that this is only the beginning. Tasha's steps are slow but purposeful. She knows that Michaels isn't the only one who will face the consequences. The system he's been a part of, the corruption that has run unchecked for so long, is about to collapse, and she's the one who's bringing it down. As she reaches the exit, Tasha pauses for a moment. She takes a deep breath, the cool air outside filling her lungs. It feels different now. She's not just a woman who has been wronged. She's someone who has made a difference. She's someone who has changed the course of justice. The world outside is still the same, but for Tasha, everything feels different. She's done what she set out to do. She's exposed the truth, and now, she knows that nothing will ever be the same. She turns her head slightly, looking back at the precinct one last time. Michaels is still standing there, caught in the web of his own lies, unable to escape the reality that Tasha has set into motion. She doesn't feel sympathy. She doesn't feel anger. She feels justice. The same justice that so many others have been denied for far too long. And now, it's finally here. Tasha's phone buzzes in her pocket, snapping her back to reality. It's a message from her team. The next phase is in motion. This is just the beginning. Tasha smiles to herself, knowing that this fight, this moment, will ripple through the entire system. She's not done yet, but for now, she takes a moment to breathe, to appreciate the victory. It's a quiet victory, but it's hers. She knows that this is a moment she will never forget. The truth has been revealed, and the system that once held power is now crumbling under the weight of its own corruption. Tasha walks forward, confident and strong, knowing that she has done what was right. She has brought the truth to light, and now she will continue the fight for justice, for everyone who has ever been silenced, for everyone who has been wronged. The world is changing, and Tasha is at the forefront of that change.